Welcome back everybody to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. On Apple stock, it's up 1.76%. So just like I said last night in my video that Apple can stay above 185, you're going to see a move up to 187 and now possibly even 190. Now, why I'm getting that indication that Apple can hit 190? Well, look at this Bollinger Band here on top, expanded up to 189 almost. So the next stop will be 190 definitely on Apple stock as long as Apple can stay above 185. Now, moment Apple takes out the support 185, then watch out for the support down here 183 and then 180. But the way this thing is looking, it all depends on that CPI, guys. If the CPI numbers are low and it's actually cooling off, it's not hot, you're going to see Apple going up to 190, and who knows, maybe even another fresh new all-time high. And Apple, if it goes to all-time high, I'm totally okay with that. And why? Because Apple actually had a really nice correction. We bought a lot of the dips on Apple stock, and this thing came all the way down here to 164, and now we're going back up. And that is because of that buyback helping out the stock. And I said it before also in my video before earnings that, earnings where this thing can make it or break it. And you can see how this thing is actually making it to the upside now because of that $110 billion in buyback. And now this thing can definitely go up to fresh new all-time high, but one day at the time. So far, it's not above 190, so we cannot talk about hitting a fresh new all-time high yet. But I think it can go there, guys, definitely. So watch out here on Apple. 185 support, and below that 183 and then 180. Above 185 definitely can hit 190, and then we can talk about possibly going up to a fresh new all-time high on Apple stock. On Google stock, it's up 0.36%. So Google, this was a biggest disappointment today that I did not get into Google. I got Meta, but this thing came down and I had my buy areas right here on Google stock 164, and it got really close. And look at this, what the stock can do with buyback, guys. You think this is actually just someone like me and you buying and pushing the stock higher? Absolutely not. This is actually algos buying. The buybacks are in full force right here. And you can see this thing came back. It was actually down pre-market, like 2%. And then, well, all of a sudden, the dip buyers, came into play. And look at this candle. From a big bearish looking candle, now we got a green candle on this daily time frame. And forget about down, 2% on the day. Now this thing is up over 170. So that is just insane what the buyback can actually do to a stock. And you can see why I was actually trying to buy Meta also and buy this thing today because of that buyback. Because I know there will be some opportunities for a dip. And if you can get in at the right time, which we did not today, and that was really a bad mistake because this thing came down. I was waiting for actually, guys, to hit 20 SMA right here. You can see 164, but you cannot actually buy things right exactly to the pennies. You got to get in somewhere, right? You cannot find the bottom. You cannot, call the top. You got to get in when there is a chance. It's closer to that level that you want, which is 164 for today. And I was looking for 164, 162, came down to 165, and I missed it. So buybacks are helping all these names, especially Google and Apple, and now it's above 170. Now, as long as Google can hold right here 170, watch out for a breakout over 171.38, rising 5-day moving average, and soon as we get that, this thing can move all the way up to 176. Below 170, we do have support at 168, 165 now, rising 20 SMA, and then 162, and then we can talk about this gap 158.28 on Google. On Amazon, stock is down 0.5%, and this is what I call rotation in between Magnificent 7 or 8 stocks right here, guys. Today we saw a big rotation out of Amazon, and where the money is going in, well, all the money is going in into Apple stock. We saw a big buying on Apple stock, and that thing is up $4 on the day, which is huge, right? So now, what happened here on Amazon? Well, they did not give a crap about Amazon today. This thing dropped down to exactly like I said in my video over the weekend that came out yesterday, Sunday, that 185. That's going to be your level to watch below 188. And this is what we got. 188 broke, 185, got a bounce off of that level, and now trading in between 188 and 185. So to the upside here on Amazon, 188, that's going to be resistant, and then 190 up to 192. To the downside, 185 gives up. Next support down here, 183, 182, 20 SMA, and then critical support down here, N50 SMA, 180, and then this gap, 173.92 on Amazon. On Microsoft, it's down 0.25%, so rotation out of Microsoft today, and money coming out of Microsoft. And you can see, I was ready to short Microsoft today if this thing was actually anywhere near 420. I was waiting for that, but opened at 418, and look at the thing here on Microsoft, guys. That is why you cannot get the top, you cannot get exact bottom all the time. So in this case, I was willing to short Microsoft at 420. Guess what? 418, and then immediately $7 to $8 gone from the stock. Later on came back and now trading at what? Above 413. But that's not the thing. For a day trade, money was there. Lots of money here on Microsoft. Huge rejection and not even touching 420. So now 413, that's going to be a line in the sand for tomorrow. Below that, watch out down here, rising 5-day moving average, and that is at 412. And below this level right here, there's nothing here. This thing can drop all the way down to 406, and then this gap just under 400. But as long as this thing can hold 413, then watch out for continuation back up to 415, up to even 420. And this is where upper Bollinger Band is sitting. So this would be an ideal level to short this stock if this thing gets up to 420 and does not get a breakout over 420 right here. On Tesla stock, it's up 2%, so Tesla was up 4% on the day and then gave away 2% and did not fill this gap at 177.40. But I think Tesla is trying to fill this gap, and that can happen, guys, anytime. So far, Tesla holding and respecting right here support 168, and now it's also above 171 right here, 50 SMA. So now it needs to get up to 177.40. As long as the support can hold 168, you're going to see this gap getting filled at 177.40, and above that, a breakout can happen. If this thing breaks above 183, can go easily up to 200. Until then, watch out for the support 168, because if that gives up, you will see a dump off all the way down to 152, and then this gap down here, 147.26 on Tesla. On Meta, it's down 1.72%, so Meta, playing Meta is kind of tricky right here. And we talked about it before in my video that it can go really close to this gap, and you will think that it's going to close this gap, and then from there, this thing can reverse and come back and possibly even close this gap down here. So far, it's just one day, so we don't have any big confirmation that that's going to happen, but it can always play out, guys. So watch out. Right here on Meta, if you look at my screen, barely holding into closing 468, 20 SMA, this white line on this daily time frame. Because below that, you're going to see a dump off, and it can happen really quick time, all the way down to 452. Now, as long as this support can hold 468, and this thing can possibly actually break and hold 472, rising 5-day moving average, in that case, it's going to look more bullish for this gap to get filled at 484.58. But if this thing takes out 468, then watch out for a dump off 452, and then like I said, it can play out where this thing actually got close to this gap, and now this thing can pull back to close this gap all the way down here without filling this gap and trapping a lot of bulls right here on top. On AMD, it's down close to 1%, so we're seeing a lot of rotation. Like Nvidia is staying flat on the day. We got AMU going up today. We saw ARM going up. But AMD looks like just a lagger here on semis, and this thing cannot push higher. And you can see this resistant trend line so far. I mean, we cannot actually break this resistant trend line, and now it's right here around 153, and this is where we got rejection today. So now it's not 154, it actually came down. Now 153 needs to break on AMD, and then you're going to see a push possibly up to this gap 158.35. Until then, below 153, 150 will be a strong support, and below that 148, 143.62, and then all the way down here 138. On Netflix is up 0.94%, and let me show you guys something and how you can make money pretty much every day. So we talked about it over the weekend, how 604, 605 will be a strong level of support on Netflix. We actually closed at 610, and I said it in my video, if this thing comes down here, as long as the support can hold, well, you can play it, right? And look at today, guys. Well, not exactly 604, 605, but it was there. You know, you can easily put a stop 20%, 15%, even 10% and play this. Look at this move from 606, got up to 617, huge move. As a day trader, you gotta look at this every day, and that is where you can actually make a lot of money watching these levels. So now going into tomorrow's session, guys, again, same thing, 604, 605, that's gonna be a strong level to watch. To the upside, the next stop, 625, and then 630 up to even 636. This level gives up, then watch out for 588 all the way down here. On Nvidia stock, it's up 0.58%, and look at how they actually ate the dip this morning on Nvidia stock. 885 low for the day, slightly going under the support, 889, and look at the dip line, guys. I mean, immediately that is a $20+ move to the upside from 885. Now, if you look at my screen, yes, you can trade this, but also it's going to cost you a lot of money because options are not cheap on Nvidia stock anymore. Where you can buy, 20 contracts with the same amount of money, you're buying only one contract right here on Nvidia. So that is just insane, and that is why, unless I'm really desperate, I'm not trading in Nvidia stock. But as long as you're watching these levels and you got a game plan, you can always make money. And you can see how well this actually played out today. Came slightly under 889. For a moment, it was looking like it was going to come down to 878, down to 50 SMA, but no. Nvidia found buyers right here, and then price went right back up over 900, and now it's holding 900 as a support into closing. So 900, 889, 878, and then 862, this gap. These are going to be strong levels to the downside. Now to the upside, if this thing can break and hold, I would say right here, that's going to be around 906. This mini trend line right here from this bull flag. Then you're going to see a move all the way up to 926, 945, and then 960. And who knows, with earnings coming up, this thing can actually hit 1000. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching.